All right. What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Bringing it full circle. News is in full effect. Selena, what's up?
How's it going? How are you today? Where'd my video go? There it is. Okay. How are you?
Great, wonderful, wonderful. What's going on in world news?
All right. So the Arctic is on fire. Um, is the Arctic on fire? Parts of it are due to global warming. In Moscow, there are people who have jobs. They're called scientists. And they're actually really worried that the Arctic fires, what the what the ramifications are for the rest of the world. In Siberia, which we know is frozen most of the time, it reached an unprecedented high of 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit last Saturday. On Tuesday, the World Meteorological Organization said it's looking to verify the temp reading, but it would be an unprecedented high for the entire north region of the Arctic Circle. Climate scientist Jonathan Overpeck at the University of Michigan said the Arctic is figuratively and literally on fire. He highlights that this is because of rising levels of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases warming up, which leads to a massive meltdown and increases wildfires. This year, north central Siberia has had unseasonably higher temperatures that averaged about 14 degrees Fahrenheit higher than average, which is much higher than it's ever been in that region. Residents aren't complaining because they've been able to sunbathe and swim off the shores of the rivers, but these scientist guys, this sounds a huge alarm for them. It's because the prolonged warmth has not been recorded for thousands of years, and it is another sign that the Arctic amplifies global warming, even more than they originally thought. The increasing temperatures in Siberia have been linked to prolonged wildfires that grow more severe every year, and the thawing permafrost, a huge problem because buildings and pipelines are built on top of them. Thawing permafrost also releases more heat-trapping gas and dries out the soil, which increases the wildfires. Warm weather, especially if coupled with the wildfires, causes the permafrost to thaw faster, which in turn exacerbates global warming by releasing large amounts of methane. And methane is potent greenhouse gas that's 28 times higher than carbon dioxide. Methane escaping from the permafrost thaw sites enters the atmosphere and circulates around the globe. And then when the methane starts in the Arctic, it doesn't stay in the Arctic. It has global ramifications. So, word in the science lab by all these scientist people I keep talking about say that they all agree that the spike and indication is a much bigger global warming trend. The key point is that the climate is changing and global temperatures are warming. Freya Vomberg, senior scientist at Cornucopias Climate Change Service in the UK, has said that. We will be breaking more and more records as we go, she also said. What is clear is that the warming Arctic adds fuel to the warming of the whole planet. Andre, question and then a follow-up question, and then maybe let's take some look at the viewer comments. Global warming, fact or fiction, real or hoax?
Global warming is very real. In fact, a lot of people in an skewed way of thinking think that COVID-19 has been a cure to global warming.
Yeah, I have heard that as well. Follow-up trivia question. Do you think that the global quarantine has been good for the environment? Yes or no, or maybe so?
So again, I was just telling everybody that a lot of people think in a very skewed way that global warming. COVID-19 is an actual help to global warming. So yes, global quarantine has probably been a major help to alleviating global warming. As you can see, a lot of the air when you go outside looks a lot cleaner. The emissions are down. There's not as many emissions going in the air, especially with travel being decreased as far as road travel, airplane travel, events that let off emissions into the air, different places being closed down. Yeah, so it's definitely a difference. And the
You,
weather has been a lot hotter, and you can see the changes in the weather as
oh
well.
yeah. And you are actually exactly right. Like everything you just said, you touched on is exactly right. I did look it up. According to scientists, quarantine has positively benefited the environment. The air and water quality have improved because of a drop of nitrogen dioxide emissions. However, I was surprised when I saw that there have been some effects that are not best for our climate and environment. Since there are less people around to monitor illegal activities, there's been a rise in deforestation and illegal poaching, amongst other things.
Understandable.
Mhm.
With every positive comes a negative.
Absolutely. Yep. Do we have any comments from viewers at the moment?
Right now, Delinder said that you can look at the weather changes to see that there has been some type of global warming or something going on. The animals here are confused. Deer don't know how to come out. Don't know when to come out. Okay.
Okay.
By the way, if you want to comment, you can definitely comment here on the Facebook Live, or you can go to BIF Circle on Twitter, and you can ask us anything you want. Comment on any news that we are reporting and giving to you right now.
Okay, Andre, what's hot in Alabama?
What's hot in Alabama? Well, what's hot in Alabama is stay your butt at home. That's what's hot in Alabama right now. As Governor Ivey gives a COVID-19 update, Alabama's positive COVID-19 rates stood at 15% on Monday, a worrying sign for public officials about the spread of the virus in Alabama. On Tuesday, Governor Ivey provided an update, obviously, on the state's response to COVID-19. Governor Ivey on Tuesday announced that she would extend the safer at home order to July 31st without imposing any new restrictions amid the month-long rise of COVID-19 cases in the state, a break from other states like Florida, Texas, and Arizona, which are experiencing increases in cases and have imposed new restrictions to combat them. A proclamation issued by the governor on Tuesday said COVID-19 remains a serious public threat and insists that the initial measures to contain the virus are not sustainable in the long run. So let me urge you in the strongest manner that I can incorporate COVID-19 cautions into your daily routine, says Governor Ivey, with most lockdown procedures lifted in mid-May. Coronavirus cases begin increasing after Memorial Day. Interesting. As of Monday, according to the Bama tracker, the average had more than tripled from 292 cases to 950 cases a day. Yes, a day, folks, 950 cases a day. The virus continues to take a high toll on Black Bamans and young adults. On Tuesday, Ivey said the presence of the virus was at a new norm that the state residents will have to live with. I don't know if I like that. Bamans, how do you feel about Governor Kay's extended order? Do you think this is enough to combat the spread of COVID-19 in Alabama? And should the governor be taking more measures, or should they have already taken more measures? I'm looking at comments right now. Robert Leader says needs to make masks mandatory in Alabama. What city was Dominic Newt said? What city was it that they wasn't even pressing the issue to wear masks? Was it Texas? Yes. Robert Leader said my county has 1,167 cases right now. All right. Selena, why are we seeing more cases
Oh,
down south? Why are we seeing the spread of COVID-19 down south, even though down south is supposed to have higher weather conditions than up north?
people are just not being safe about it. That's all it boils down to. That's what I think. I think that we were so focused on reopening, getting our economy back going, which were all real concerns. But in the same token, there were so many other people, you know, we're I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact that we're Americans and we want to do what we want to do. You know, not everybody thinks about somebody else's health or what it could do to somebody's family. You know, if it's going to hurt that family, they want to get out, they want to get their hair cut, they want to do these things.
Interesting. So again, we talked about last week the fever that people
Yes.
catch as far
Yep.
as fatigue, the corona fatigue. People are
Mhm.
just tired of the
Yep.
conditions. It's causing major issues because people want to get out, like you
Mhm.
said, and do things like they normally are accustomed to doing. All
I
right.
do agree with the face masks. You know, I've seen a lot of temper tantrums thrown around Wisconsin because of the face masks.
Mm. Interesting enough, we will get to Wisconsin news very shortly. Real quick before we get to the Wisconsin news, last week we did a story on OnPoint Network's documentary blowing up Chastity D. Byron story. We wanted to give you an update on that story again. The documentary will be featured at the Lynette City Film Festival, folks. Congratulations to the OnPoint Network family. Absolutely. Due to COVID-19, the festival will be virtual, though, this year, as the festival will last 2 days, which will be August 14th and 15th. Yet the schedule has not been set for the days and times of when the films will be aired. So you're going to have to stay tuned to bringing it full circle so we can bring this story full circle as we get more news and updates on the Chastity D. Byron story, which now has made the Lynette City Film Festival. All right. So shout out to the OnPoint Network. Great job. Selena, we've got Wisconsin news on the way.
Some touching news today from Wisconsin, educating our children the right way. After scrolling through Facebook events, I found one near me that I personally wanted to attend. It was a kids' lemonade stand. Not just any lemonade stand, it was a Black Lives Matter lemonade stand, and it was organized by business owner of the hippie healer, Kim Mayer, but the event was ran by kids. They ran the lemonade stand, a bake sale, and a basket raffle in which all the proceeds went to 3 different Black-owned businesses in Dane County. Let's take a peek at that.
So we're here raising money for 3 local Dane County Black-owned businesses.
Okay.
100% of the proceeds here will go to those businesses. They're listed here: David's Jamaican Cuisine, McGee's Chicken, and Mo Betta Butter Cookies. The reasoning behind this is white children need to learn Black history better. So here we are. It's a kid-ran event. We'll have lemonade and a bake sale and raffle baskets. And like I said, 100% of the proceeds go back to our community Black-owned business.
That's amazing. So I read in the event that it's about educating our children about
Yes.
the Black Lives Matter and why that's important. So why do you think that's important here?
I've taught the children in my life to not see color.
Right.
And I think it's important to change that and
Right.
let them know why Black people are different, the struggles they've been through, and
Right.
they can empathize and accept them more.
Absolutely. I love that. So I'm going to say it a little bit louder for those of you in the back what Kim emphasized. The reason we are doing this is because white children need to learn Black history better. I want to start with small children that don't have a voice, teach them that they do have a voice, they can use it. How awesome is that? I just think that just positive, just something positive that I saw that I was really excited about. Now, some of the many questions circulating proactive Black Lives Matter white people are Where are the resources? Where can I learn what we never learned in school? And what do we teach our kids? Where do we start? Many white people think that if they don't talk about race or prejudice issues, their children won't face any issues as they get older. The fact of the matter is that their stereotypes exist whether we talk about them or not. Some psychologists advise for young children, maybe try to read books that feature different children of different backgrounds. If we're looking to softly address issues of racism with our little ones, we can talk to our kids about how we have been allies, how white people have been allies with Black people, share stories of white people who have marched in solidarity with Black people. Jeanette Winters has a book called Follow the Drinking Gourd that tells a story of white people who assisted slaves of the Underground Railroad. Andre, I have a question about that because I feel, I kind of feel with part of that, it's kind of dulling down what white people have done if we showcase ourselves as heroes for Black people. How do you think that white people should educate their children on racism?
Well, first and foremost, I don't want to hear people say, I don't see color. That, yes, you do. When you go outside, the trees are green, the sky is blue. You see color.
Yeah.
What I behoove people to do is respect each other the way you would want to be treated. So the way you would want to be treated is the way you should treat somebody else, and it's just plain and simple. No matter what you look like, how you look, no matter what nationality or what culture you come from, everybody has to understand and learn that there is only one race, and that is the human race, and that we should treat each other with respect and dignity.
100%. Okay, good. Do we have any comments from our viewers?
Oh, we've had a couple of comments actually. They were talking about Dominic Nuke said keep it real and truthful to children, period. They have the right to know.
Okay, so please email us some helpful and open-minded, positive educational suggestions at bringingitfullcircle@gmail.com. We'll post those suggestions to our Facebook pages for everyone to see. Don't forget to like and share our Facebook pages and posts to bring awareness to your friends who might need to know these things. Bringing It Full Circle with Andre and Bringing It Full Circle with Selena in Wisconsin. Otherwise, Andre, I know you have some news from New York.
Oh, shoot. In the words of Kevin Hart, you done went Hollywood now. Yeah. Buffalo is definitely going Hollywood as Great Point Capital Management, a media-focused investment fund run by Robert Hurley and others, filed plans with the city to build a new state-of-the-art film and television studio complex on Niagara Street on the city's west side. Earlier this year, Great Point signed a deal with Rich Holding Incorporated to purchase a building site for the studio adjacent to Rich Products, in which I used to work at, on Niagara Street's campus. The $50 million plus full-service film and television production facility will include 20,000 square feet stages and a 70,000 square foot office and support space. Developers say that the studio will be built in 2 phases. Construction on phase 1 is slated to start this September with a projected completion date in autumn of 2021. If you want more news on this, you can go to BIF Circle on Twitter. Also, you can hit me up at Bringing It Full Circle News, Andre, on the page, on the Facebook page. All right. Longtime local developer and former CEO Buffalo Sabres, Larry Quinn, will be coordinating this and supervising all aspects of the project for Great Point. All right. Now, moving along in Western New York news, we have some more interesting news coming up. because out of the city of Buffalo comes the Teachers Coalition, in which the Buffalo Teachers Coalition have been slated that they will be planning a protest at City Hall. Actually, it already happened this past Tuesday. It took place at the City Hall. The Change Starts With Me rally started at 4:15 p.m. on Tuesday. The goal was to hold other educators accountable to combat racism in the educational system. Teachers are also demanding that they end practices to support school to prison pipeline while attempting to create a culturally responsive school environment and empowering Black and Brown students. With that being said, there is more to the story. There's more things that I need to announce right here. I had a very interesting conversation with Dominic Calhoun earlier today while I was at the campus of Bryan and Stratton. Shout out to the Bobcats, by the way. And this is a very big topic that needs to be discussed. And it needs to be discussed among the Buffalo athletes who have been coined to be legends of such. The topic is in pertaining to these Buffalo school kids who do not have the facilities and resources when it comes down to our sporting events. There are schools right now who share a football field, 6 or 7 different schools sharing one football field. Then you have high schools like South Park who have their own state-of-the-art football field and facilities. We as people in the community activists, basketball, football enthusiasts, people who have been known for their athletic expertise in this city need to come together and change these issues. We need to come up with solutions so that all of these schools have the correct facilities and playing fields so that there can be an even slate or even kill when it comes to our after school and extracurricular activities. Selena, my question to you is, does all of the high schools in your area have fields to play in the proper facilities?
Yeah, they do. We have all of the surrounding towns have their own field. We have our own hockey rinks. We have our own soccer fields, baseball fields. Yeah, we definitely. I don't know. Okay, so I should say the town that I live in and the surrounding towns. I don't know as much about Madison. I know that I think there's a few different high schools in Madison, and I don't know how they're set up.
Okay. All right. I just want to put this out there one more time while we are on the news set, because it's very important. I need all of the legends, all of the people who have connections to resources to come up with solutions. There is no way that if you are a sports enthusiast or you are a sports media, that you should be okay with what's going on with the Buffalo Public Schools as far as extracurricular activities and facilities for these kids, and the fact that it's not on an even playing field when it comes to these high schools and the fields that they play on. All right. Dominic Calhoun has been doing this for years, trying to put things together, pulling money out of her own pocket to support our community. It is now time for the community to get together Forget whose name is going to be on it. Okay? Forget the egos. Drop the egos. And it's time to come together to facilitate solutions that would help all of our kids in the Western New York community.
Yeah, don't forget to email us some of those resources. If you know somebody, if you have connections, don't forget to email us at bringingitfullcircle@gmail.com. We can use that information and get it out there as well.
Absolutely. Citizens' Voice would be a perfect platform in which we're gonna get into Citizens' Voice real quick, aren't we?
I think so.
Absolutely.
You're the one who takes the calls.
Absolutely. Citizens' Voice right now is full circle. We bringing it full circle right here. Citizens' Voice. If anybody wants to call in right now, and talk to us, 716-243-5669. Again, the number is 716-243-5669. You can state whatever you want to talk about, as far as it could be issues within the community. We got a couple minutes before we have to end our broadcast. But we will be back on tomorrow. Tomorrow, bringing it full circle again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The number is down in the comments section for those who are watching on Facebook.
So last week we talked about reversing the narrative.
Yes, we did.
Yes, and it went over my head. I wasn't listening very well, and I said we needed to talk about it. Well, this week I'm caught back up, and I want to challenge everyone to Andre's challenge because it's amazing. I want to challenge everyone to reverse the narrative this week. Listen to music from other cultures and learn something about that culture. Try to reverse the negative images that people have of those cultures. So everybody, you have homework.
Love it. Love it.
Yes.
Giving the audience homework. We all definitely need to have some type of homework when it comes to solutions and reversing the narrative as far as it pertains to bettering our communities.
Right, and this is so positive. So, I mean, it's literally not going to hurt anybody.
Surely won't.
Do you have any specific songs that you can think of off the top of your head that have personally inspired you from a different culture?
You know what? Actually, this is what I'll do. I'll make sure y'all do some homework. I will list a bunch of songs from other cultures that have inspired me. And on the next show, if you can tell me 3 of those songs, I will be sending you a prize. How about that?
Ooh. I love it. I love it.
But you got to go on Twitter, BIF Circle on Twitter, okay? You got to go there. I will be listing them on BIF Circle on Twitter. If you can tell me tomorrow 3 of the songs, then I'll definitely throw you a prize. And by the way, speaking of prize, I don't want to go off the air without mentioning that Taniqua Simmons, Dominique Calhoun, Doretha Franklin, Carol Horn were all at a rally Saturday in front of the Buffalo Police and Fire headquarters, as far as it pertained our right to social justice, especially after the social injustices that had taken place with the Buffalo Police Department as it involved Quentin Suttles. All right. We were there. It was a phenomenal event in which you can go to BIF Circle and you will find those pictures on Twitter. You also can go on Facebook, bringing it with Andre, bringing it full circle with Andre, and you can look at the pictures.
And the live video.
Yep, and the live video.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I might even show them tomorrow on bringing it full circle.
Okay.
All right.
Do we have anyone for Citizens Voice? Anybody?
No. Listen, I don't want you guys to be afraid to call us. All right. 716-243-5669 is the call line for Citizens citizens' voice. So I want you guys to call in because this is your time to voice your opinions. All right. We want everybody to have a voice.
Yep. Furthermore, you can email us again for Rise Up, which are opportunities where you can highlight your community, our communities, and people who are making positive changes. I want to give a shout out to Kim Mayer with the Hippie Healer and those kids in Wisconsin and their parents for making sure that their kids are going to be educated the best that we can. And we're going to try to get those resources out to you so that you know where to start.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Continue to support us, bringing it full circle. I'm Andre Robinson, the fire starter. You know me.
I'm Selena Seibert from Wisconsin. Thank you, guys.
We'll see you again tomorrow.